Hello, please leave a message after the tone.
Food is a basic human right, yet millions face hunger every day. What is global food security? And why is it such a pressing challenge?
This is for educational use only. Our group grants permission for our instructor, Mr. Roldan Ardines, to use this as educational material.
Achieving our goal of ending global hunger often means providing food for people in need. But we know that more is needed to ensure people enjoy food security. So, what do we mean by food security? Food security is when all people have regular access to enough nutritious food to lead healthy and active lives. The key word is access. How do you access food? You can buy it, or produce it yourself, or both. To buy food, everyone needs income. A job or livelihood provides money to buy food. If a livelihood is not possible, say if someone is sick or elderly, a safety net is needed for people to access food. In developing countries, many people get some or all of their food and income by growing crops, gathering food, fishing, or raising animals. Better food security means improving these livelihoods. For example, training and support on how to produce more and better food, or improving access to land, markets, or supplies. Kadaya is a single mother of 3 children living in northern Bangladesh. Kadaya has no land, but works on the fields of a local landowner. When there's work available, she's able to provide food for her family. But during the off-season, when there is no work, and no reliable income, her children sometimes go to bed hungry. Through a local food security project, she was able to buy a cow and then receive training to look after it properly. The cow's milk provides Kadaya's family with nutritious food, and she can sell some of the milk in the local market for extra income. The result is that Kadaya is more sure of where her next meal is coming from all year long. Her kids are more active and learn better in school. Her family is now more food secure. There are many ways you can be involved in improving people's access to enough nutritious food to lead healthy and active lives.
The definition of food security. Global food security means making sure that all people at all times have access to safe, nutrition, and affordable food to maintain a healthy and active life. It is based on the 4 pillars. The one is availability, having food produced. The 2 is access, having the resources to obtain food. And the 3 is utilization, proper nutrition, safe food, and good health. And the last one is stability, consistent access to food over time. Food security is important because it prevents hunger, resources, malnutrition, and support economic and social development. However, it is faced major challenges such as climate change, conflict, rising food price, poverty, and rapid pollution growth. To improve food security, the world must support sustainability agriculture, reduce food waste, strengthen food disturbance, and promote international cooperation. By doing this, we can ensure that everyone has enough nutrition food today in the future.
Global food security is influenced by several major factors, including food availability, food access, food utilization, and stability. Food availability depends on the world's ability to produce enough food, which is often threatened by climate change, natural disasters, pests, and global conflicts. Food access requires that people have the financial resources and physical ability to obtain food. However, poverty and rising food prices limit many families' ability to buy nutritious meals. Food utilization involves proper nutrition, sanitation, and access to clean water so the body can effectively use the food. Finally, stability means having a reliable and consistent food supply over time, which can be disrupted by political instability, pandemics, and economic crises. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the Philippines faced significant challenges in maintaining food security. Lockdowns and travel restrictions disrupted supply chains, making it difficult for farmers to transport goods and causing shortage in some areas and oversupply in others. Food prices increased sharply, making it harder for low-income households to afford basic commodities. Many Filipino lost their jobs or experienced reduced income, weakening their purchasing power and increasing hunger and malnutrition risk. The agriculture sector also struggled due to limited access to inputs and labor constraints. Although the government implemented measures such as food aid, subsidies, and diwa markets, these efforts were not enough to fully address gaps, especially in remote communities, densely populated urban areas. Food security is built on 5 important components: availability, access, utilization, stability, and sustainability. Availability refers to having enough food produced and supplied through farming, fisheries, and imports. This can be affected by climate change, disaster, or conflicts. Access means people must have the financial means and physical ability to obtain food, which is influenced by income levels, food prices, markets, and transportation system. Utilization focuses on how the body uses the food consumed, depending on proper nutrition, clean water, sanitation, and knowledge about healthy diets. Stability ensures that food is consistently available and accessible at all times, without major disruption caused by crises such as economic downturns, pandemic, or political instability. Lastly, sustainability emphasizes that food systems should remain productive long-term, protecting the environment and ensuring future generations can also meet their dietary needs. Together, these 5 components determine whether individuals and communities can reliably access safe nutrition and adequate food.
Threats to global food security. Global food security is under increasing pressure due to a combination of environmental, social, and economic factors. One of the major threats is climate change, which leads to extreme weather events such as drought, floods, and storms that damage crops and reduce agricultural productivity. Rising temperatures also affect growing season, making it harder for farmers to predict and maintain stable food and supplies. Another critical factor is population growth, which increases the demand for food worldwide. In many regions, agricultural production is struggling to keep pace, leading to higher food prices and limited access for vulnerable population. Conflict and war further exacerbate food insecurity by disrupting farming, destroying infrastructure, and preventing the distribution of essential supplies. Other significant challenges include water scarcity, soil degradation, and the speed of pests and diseases, all of which reduce crop yield and threaten livelihoods. economic instability and poor infrastructure also play a role by making a food less affordable and increasing waste. To ensure the global food security is essential to address these challenges. Those sustainable farming practices, climate adaptation, and equitable food distribution system.
Food security remains an attainable goal, but achieving it requires addressing a complex interplay of economic, environmental, and political factors. The world currently produces sufficient food to nourish the global population. However, access remains uneven due to systemic issues such as poverty, conflict, weak governance, and climate-related disruptions. These challenges highlight that food insecurity is not solely a matter of production, but of distribution, affordability, and resilience. From an academic perspective, food security can be advanced through three critical stages or strategies. First, strengthening agricultural systems, particularly in low and middle income countries, is essential. Investment in climate resilient crops, sustainable farming technologies, and improved rural infrastructures can enhance both productivity and stability in global food chains. Second, international cooperation plays a central role. Global food security depends on coordinated trade policies, early warning mechanisms for food crises, and sharing of scientific research to mitigate the impacts of climate variability and environmental degradation. Third, reducing post-harvest losses and global food waste presents a significant opportunity. Studies indicate that approximately one-third of food produced globally is wasted, suggesting that efficiency improvements across storage, transportation, and consumptions could substantially expand the availability of food supply without increasing environmental pressures. Moreover, social protection programs including cash transfers, food subsidies, and school feeding schemes remain vital for safeguarding vulnerable populations, especially during economic shocks or climate-induced disasters. In conclusion, while achieving complete global food security is challenging, it is possible through sustained multi-sectoral actions. Ensuring universal access to safe, sufficient, and nutritious food requires integrating technological innovations, effective governance, and international collaborations. With long-term commitment, food security can evolve from an aspirational goal into a realistic global achievement.
Environmental crisis is severely affecting food security because the natural systems that support agriculture are being disrupted at a faster rate than ever before. Climate change is causing unpredictable weather patterns, including longer droughts, more intense typhoons, irregular rainfall, all of which reduce crop yields and damage the livelihoods of millions of farmers. Rising global temperatures also accelerate pest outbreaks and plant disease, making it harder for farmers to protect their harvest. Soil degradation is another major concern as decades of overfarming, deforestation, and the misuse of chemical fertilizers have weakened the fertility of farmlands, reducing the ability of soils to hold nutrients and water. At the same time, water scarcity is becoming increasing of common because rivers, lakes, and groundwater sources are drying up or becoming polluted, leaving communities with limited resources for irrigation. The warming oceans and coral reef destruction are also diminishing fish populations, which are crucial sources of protein for many countries, especially islands and coastal communities. Pollution from plastics to toxic chemicals further contaminates food supplies and ecosystems. All these environmental stresses combine to increase food prices, reduce access to nutritious food, and threaten global stability. Ultimately, the environmental crisis undermines the world's ability to feed its growing population, making it essential to adopt sustainable farming practices, protect ecosystem, reduce carbon emissions, and support climate resilient agriculture to secure our food system for the future.